Welcome to Learn English with Podcast. Today, our amazing hosts, Luca and Maria, are here to take you through another exciting episode. Luca, Maria, over to you.
Hey everyone, welcome to this deep dive. And today, we're going to try to tackle something I think we all struggle with, and that's how to stop comparing ourselves to others.
Oh, yeah.
It's so tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially now with social media, constantly in our faces and kind of showing us everybody else's seemingly perfect lives.
Right.
That feeling, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a universal experience in the digital age.
Totally. And one of the things that really resonated with me from, what we've been looking at today to talk about is this scenario, like you're chilling in your sweats, maybe enjoying some leftover pizza,
Yeah.
you're scrolling through Instagram and bam, you see someone from high school who just bought like a huge house or a friend who's on some amazing vacation. And suddenly you're hit with this wave of like, wait, what am I doing with my life?
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's that instant comparison that can really just derail us. And it's fascinating how quickly it can shift our mood and, make us question our own path.
Right, like we get sucked into this competition that doesn't even exist. We're comparing our everyday reality to someone else's carefully curated highlight reel.
Yeah.
It's like comparing a blockbuster film to the raw footage they filmed.
That's such a great analogy.
Totally different.
And what's interesting is that this constant comparison can lead to some serious negative consequences.
Oh, for sure.
We might start experiencing self-doubt, anxiety, even stress, all stemming from this feeling of not being good enough.
Ugh, yeah, it's like this constant pressure, feeling like you're always falling short.
Yeah.
So if comparison is so toxic, why do we do it?
Right.
Is it just human nature to, size each other up?
There's definitely an element of that, I think. Comparing ourselves to others is actually part of how we learn and grow.
Yeah.
It helps us understand, where we fit in, what's possible, what we might want to strive for.
Okay.
And it's actually wired into us from way back to help us survive.
Right.
But the problem is that instinct is clashing with today's world.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's not the comparison itself that's bad. It's the context of comparison that's changed.
Exactly.
Like back in the day, we were comparing ourselves to our small tribe, not the entire internet.
Exactly. The issue is that today we're constantly bombarded with unrealistic versions of reality, especially online.
Right.
Social media algorithms are designed to show us the best of the best, the most beautiful, the most successful, which makes it almost impossible to not compare ourselves and come up short.
It's like this never-ending cycle of feeling inadequate. It makes sense why so many people talk about feeling stuck on a hamster wheel. Constantly running, striving, comparing, but never truly feeling satisfied.
That's a perfect way to put it. And what's even more fascinating is that many people who've broken free from this comparison trap describe this incredible feeling of relief, like a weight has been lifted.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Imagine finally letting go of that constant pressure to measure up to everyone else and just focusing on your own journey.
It's truly liberating because once we recognize that comparison is a game we can never truly win because there will always be someone seemingly doing better, we can start to redirect our energy towards what truly matters, our own growth and well-being.
That's so powerful. So how do we actually make that shift? How do we break free from this cycle of comparison and start focusing on ourselves?
Well, the good news is that, our exploration uncovered some incredibly helpful strategies for doing just that. And the first one might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful, shifting our focus inward.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What does that actually look like in practice?
Instead of constantly looking outward at what everyone else is doing, achieving, or possessing, we turn our attention inward. We focus on our own goals, our own progress, our own values.
So it's kind of like putting on blinders to the external noise and focusing on our own lane.
Exactly. And it's not about ignoring the world around us, but rather choosing where we direct our attention and energy. It's about celebrating our own wins, no matter how small, and recognizing how far we've come on our own unique journey.
That makes a lot of sense. It's so easy to get caught up in comparing our chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20.
Absolutely.
But we all have our own timelines and our own definitions of success.
Absolutely. And to really solidify this shift in focus, we can incorporate mindfulness practices into our daily routine, even just taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly, notice our breath, and bring our awareness to the present moment can help us break free from that constant cycle of comparison.
You mean like a mini meditation? I can definitely see how that could help ground us and bring us back to ourselves.
Precisely. And speaking of creating healthier habits, another crucial strategy is limiting our social media consumption. I know easier said than done in today's world, right?
Tell me about it. But I get why it's important. It's like we're voluntarily stepping into comparison central every time we open those apps.
It's true, but here's the thing. Social media isn't inherently bad. It can be a great tool for connection creativity, and even learning the key is to use it consciously and intentionally rather than letting it use us.
Okay, that's a helpful reframing. So
Yeah.
how do we find that balance? Are we talking full-on digital detox here?
Not necessarily. It's more about becoming aware of how social media makes us feel and adjusting our usage accordingly. If certain accounts or types of content consistently trigger feelings of inadequacy or envy, it might be time to unfollow or mute them. Think of it as curating your digital space to support your mental well-being.
I love that it's like we have the power to design our own online experience.
Exactly. And remember, taking breaks from social media altogether can be incredibly rejuvenating. Give yourself permission to disconnect from the digital world and reconnect with the real world, with nature, with the people you love, with your own passions and interests.
That's such a good reminder. Sometimes we need to step away from the screen to remember what truly matters.
Absolutely. And when we do that, we create space for another powerful antidote to comparison: gratitude.
Oh, I've heard about the power of gratitude,
Yeah.
but how does it actually help with comparison?
Well, when we focus on what we lack, we're essentially feeding the comparison monster. We're
So-
constantly reminded of what we don't have, what we haven't achieved, what we're not. But when we shift our focus to what we do have, to the good things in our lives, no matter how small, it completely changes our perspective.
So instead of dwelling on the, I wish I had that C, we start appreciating the, I'm so lucky to have this.
Exactly. Gratitude is like a muscle we can strengthen with practice. And the amazing thing is the more we practice gratitude, the more we find to be grateful for. It's like we rewire our brains to focus on abundance rather than scarcity.
That makes so much sense. Do you have any tips for actually cultivating gratitude in our lives?
Absolutely. One simple practice is keeping a gratitude journal every day. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big things, small things, anything that brings you joy or a sense of appreciation. Another great practice is expressing gratitude to others. Tell someone you appreciate them, write a thank you note, or simply take a moment to acknowledge the good things people bring to your life.
I love those ideas. They're so simple yet so powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, what else can we do to break free from the comparison trap? I'm ready for more tools.
Well, here's a big one. Celebrate your uniqueness.
Wait, seriously, celebrate what makes me different.
Yes, embrace those quirks, those passions, those experiences that make you you for too long. We've been taught to fit in, to conform, to strive for some external standard of perfection. But the truth is, the world needs your individuality. It needs your unique talents, your unique perspective, your unique contributions.
I hear you, but it's easier said than done, right? How do we celebrate our quirks when the world seems to reward conformity?
It starts with recognizing and valuing your own strengths, your own values, your own passions. What are you good at? What do you care about? What brings you joy? When we know who we are at our core, we're less likely to get swept away by external pressures to compare ourselves to others.
So it's about owning our own story flaws and recognizing that our worth isn't determined by how we stack up against someone else.
Yeah. Exactly. And when we truly embrace our uniqueness, we begin to see that comparison is a pointless exercise. We're all on our own journeys with our own strengths and weaknesses, and that's something to be celebrated, not criticized.
This is so eye-opening.
Okay.
I have a feeling you're about to drop another truth bomb on me. What's the next strategy for silencing the comparison game?
This one might be the most important one of all. Be kind to yourself. Tame that inner critic that loves to compare and judge.
Oh, that inner voice can be brutal. It's like we're our own worst enemies sometimes.
It's true. But we don't have to let that inner critic run the show.
Yeah.
We can choose to challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with more compassionate and supportive ones.
Give me an example. How do we actually do that?
For example, instead of thinking, I'm not as successful as them, try shifting your perspective to, I'm proud of the progress I've made and I'm excited to keep learning and growing. Or instead of saying, I'm not as fit as them, try saying, I'm grateful for my body and all that it does for me.
Wow, that's so powerful. It's like we're literally changing the script in our minds.
Yeah. Exactly. And remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal, or all works in progress. And it's okay to make mistakes, to stumble, to have moments of self-doubt. The key is to treat ourselves with the same kindness and compassion we would offer to a dear friend.
That's such a great point. We'd never talk to a friend the way we sometimes talk to ourselves. Okay, so we've talked about shifting our focus inward, limiting social media, practicing gratitude, celebrating our uniqueness, and being kind to ourselves. What else can we do to break free from the comparison game?
Well, here's a final thought to remember. Comparison is a game you can never truly win. There will always be someone who appears to be doing better, having more, achieving more. But that doesn't mean you're failing. Your progress is valid. Your journey is unique, and your worth is inherent. Remember that.
That's such an important reminder. It's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking that someone else's success diminishes our own, but that's simply not true.
Exactly. We can celebrate other people's achievements without feeling threatened or inadequate. In fact, when we can genuinely appreciate others' successes, it actually expands our own sense of possibility and inspiration.
I love that it's like shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think the most important thing to remember is you are not alone. It's a universal struggle, especially in today's, hyper-connected world, but it's a game you don't have to play.
Yeah, it is such a relief to hear that it's so easy to feel like we're the only ones struggling with this.
Yeah.
But it's truly something so many of us experience. And like you said, we have the power to choose a different path.
Absolutely. Remember, you are in control of your own experience. You get to decide where you focus your attention, what messages you allow in, and how you choose to define success and happiness.
I love that it's about taking back our power and choosing to focus on what truly matters to us.
Exactly. And when you focus on your own progress, celebrate your wins, practice gratitude, and embrace your unique quirks, the need to compare yourself to others will naturally fade away.
It's like we're shifting our focus from external validation to internal satisfaction.
Beautifully said. And remember, this is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns of comparison, and that's okay. Be kind to yourself, acknowledge those feelings, and gently redirect your focus back to your own path.
It's all about progress, not perfection. Every time we choose to focus on our own journey, celebrate our uniqueness and silence, that inner critic, we're taking a step towards greater self-acceptance and happiness.
So true. I'd like to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question to ponder. If you could completely let go of comparing yourself to others, what would that free you up to do or become? What dreams would you dare to pursue? What possibilities would open up for you?
That's such a powerful question. I hope our listener will take some time to really reflect on that and allow themselves to imagine a life free from the weight of comparison.
Me too. It's my belief that when we release the need to measure ourselves against others, we unlock a wellspring of creativity, joy, and fulfillment that was always there, just waiting to be discovered.
That's a beautiful thought to end on. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We hope you found it insightful and empowering. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep being awesomely you.
The harmful effects of comparison is a natural human tendency. But in today's digital world, especially with social media, it has become more toxic than ever. The phrase comparison is a thief of joy perfectly captures how constantly measuring ourselves against others diminishes our happiness and self-worth. When we compare our lives to the curated highlights we see online, we often feel inadequate, believing that we are not good enough, not doing enough, and not successful enough. This mindset leads to self-doubt, anxiety, and stress. The illusion of competition, where we feel the need to keep up, is harmful because we are often comparing ourselves to unrealistic portrayals of success, beauty, and happiness. The reality is that social media only showcases the best moments, not the struggles and challenges behind the scenes. It's like comparing a movie trailer to the unedited footage, a completely unfair and misleading comparison. The never-ending hamster wheel many people, including the host, have experienced the exhausting cycle of comparison. It feels like running on a hamster wheel, always chasing after an unattainable version of success, but never truly arriving. This mindset steals our ability to appreciate our own journey and robs us of the joy of personal growth. How to stop comparing and embrace your own path. The good news is that we can break free from the comparison trap. Here are 5 powerful strategies to help. 1. Shift your focus to your own journey. The best comparison to make is to who you were yesterday. Instead of measuring yourself against others, focus on small wins and personal progress. Celebrate how far you've come. 2. Limit your social media time. Social media is often comparison central. Taking breaks, unfollowing negative influences, and surrounding yourself with positive content can significantly reduce unnecessary self-doubt. Remember, social media is a tool, not reality. 3. Practice gratitude instead of focusing on what you lack. Focus on what you have. By regularly listing things you're grateful for, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. 4. Celebrate your uniqueness. No one else in the world is you. And that is your superpower. Instead of envying others, embrace your individual journey, talents, and personality. 5. Stop the inner critic. Negative self-talk fuels comparison. Instead, flip the script. Replace self-doubt with positive affirmations. I am doing my best, and that is enough. The final takeaway: comparison is an unwinnable game. There will always be someone ahead of you, but their success doesn't mean your failure. The ultimate benchmark is being a better version of yourself every day. Instead of chasing others' standards, embrace your unique path, celebrate your progress, and find joy in your own journey.
Thank you for watching. Your journey to better English and unstoppable confidence starts here. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep growing together. See you in the next video, champion.